Get that gloss on.
Child.
I don't want to see y'all on here with no gloss. Hey, gloss, starting that over. What's up, glossies? It is Allie Renee, and I'm back, and I'm better.
Ooh,
and
tell 'em.
today, we talking about something spicy.
What'd you say last time, baby?
Ooh.
What'd you say last time?
Get my gloss ready
Get
now.
your gloss ready.
Spit it out.
You better say that. You
I'm
better say-
scared of sex.
She's scared
I
of
said
sex. Oh!
I said it.
I'm hot for you. And not in a good way.
Alright now. And she said it full volume, full chest.
Child.
All right.
Scared of sex. But I mean, to reiterate, on our last video, we were talking about time frames on relationships, and I've always said I'm not going to date till I'm 25.
Yeah.
And I've made it more of a career-based thing, but what also ties into that heavily is me being scared, not of sex itself, but the attachment that comes with it, and me being I'm so confidential, and my body's just, I'm so into health and everything wellness and just perfect, and like I just get so scared that the wrong person, I'll do it with the wrong person, get attached to the wrong person, get a soul tie with the wrong person. I don't know if you guys believe in soul ties, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But I'm so scared of that, and I know that in dating, sex is so important. Like,
Yeah.
it's a huge part of dating. I feel like you can't date without having the sexual aspect, which, I mean, some people go till they're married.
Some people do.
Some
Don't be
people
me.
do.
It ain't gonna be
It
me.
ain't gonna be you. But it's like, I know most relationships, you have to have sex for it to be healthy. And it's like, I'm scared to go into something and either one, I feel pressured to have sex
Right.
because that will help the relationship.
Right.
Or number two, I'm going to choose the wrong person and become attached to them, and career go downhill, go broke.
Right.
Y'all know how I equate
Right.
like that.
We know.
Man and broke, those go
Right.
together in my
Yeah.
head.
All right.
So, and pimples, stress. Man broke, no man, no pimples. But, yeah, that's.
Ooh, I feel like there's a lot to unpack, baby. Now, all right.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, you know this
You
is health
ready?
and wellness. I wish I had a drink though, but it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of it's understandable.
Yes.
A lot of it, I say, is understandable because you're young.
Yeah.
Which is no problem with being young. We all were young at one. But as a former baby, I have grown into the person I am today. But I think those are all valid concerns. I think you may be putting a lot of weight onto a previous bad experience, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think, to kind of piggyback on what we were talking about last episode, that
Link down here.
like,
Thanks,
subscribe. Child, I don't remember what I said.
Right.
I think
It might be linked to a previous.
yes,
Bad
it's
experience.
bad experience, and going off of what we were saying last episode, without experience, how are you going to know what you do like? You
Right.
can't kind of condemn all of mankind, not all of mankind, but all of man.
Species.
The species,
Yeah.
you know. Even though it's easy because men suck.
Say it again.
Yeah, men suck.
Say it one more again.
One more time. Granted, there are a few of us who are elevated versions of man, but you know we have our moments. But generally speaking, men suck. And I think, even though so many of them just show their ass, I think there are good ones out there. And you and I have talked briefly about this scenario, and the fear of being attached to the wrong person. I think because you're aware of that fear, if you were to walk out and dip a toe in the water, I think the person you present yourself to be on all of your social, in real life, the people you surround yourself with, I don't think you're going to be attracting just like those trash men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think because you are also very vocal. It's like you, from the conversations that we have, you're like, oh, I know what I want, and you got. They gotta get past us first, like
we know what you want.
Any got
Gate.
gatekeepers. What's up?
Watching you.
It's like we're not gonna let some raggedy ass man
Crusty
come up in your
man,
life because
broke,
when you have that past
smells.
experience, you ain't have us.
You're lucky.
That's
You're lucky he
bad.
slid under like.
Ooh,
He's with him.
Right.
Slide up in there.
Right.
he got up in the cabin's phone.
Oh my god.
No, I just feel like because of everything, we met you in May. So we haven't even known Ali for a calendar year yet.
Yeah.
But the quality in our relationship has just been unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of the people that are in your life now and the success you've reached and the joy you experience so often, I think putting that out there, you're going to start attracting better men. And I think when it comes to the sex component, I think when you do find that right guy, it won't be pressure. You're gonna want to share those intimate moments with him because he's treating you the way you deserve to be treated. He's loving you. Like he is embraced by your circle. He is just that. He is that level.
And I don't know where. The question just popped in my head. Okay, let's
Grab it
read
now.
it here.
Let's
Yeah.
open that thing.
Oh, wow, that's a good question. It reads. Whoa. Hold on, sorry. Are you scared of sex or are you scared of intimacy?
A word.
Sorry. Let me hand this back to the producers. I say that only because, again, like we uncovered last. I'm an archaeologist. Because I was like, wait a minute. You're saying it's about career that you put this boundary up or this idea. Like, no, I don't want to date till this. Or I would prefer not to date till this. Because it might damage my career, set me off path, whatever it is. Then we found out it's the real topic of this episode. I'm hearing you. And I'm hearing words like attached, I'm hearing words like this, but when I think about like attachments can be made from anything.
That's true.
So
emotion.
I'm kind of wondering, are you also afraid in tangent, in holding hands with, intimacy? Really letting someone see you for who you are, letting them know the deeper parts about you and maybe things you haven't told people before, and that is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, it could not be something that you considered, but
Yeah.
That could be. I do know I'm not a very, like, vocally, I'm not vulnerable at all. Like, I can say things, but, like, as far as, like, romantically, like, being open about how I feel, again, I'd say that's just out of fear of, like, it's not really, like, it's just all fear, like, it's, which is not good,
yeah.
but it's something.
Because God has not given us a spirit of fear.
Okay,
That's right.
release me. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like I've never thought about that.
Because I'm hearing it and like I'm like, okay, I understand that, but wait, something's still
Because
is
you
not adding
can,
up.
yeah, it's like you can get emotionally attached easily.
Of
Like
course.
I've been attached to people emotionally.
You can even be attached to someone financially. If someone was vulnerable enough to be in someone's stronghold because they have a financial hold over them, you can be attached to that. I'm hearing there's an intimacy issue. That's what I feel like I'm also hearing. And sex is a form of intimacy.
Yes.
Yes.
That was what I wanted to point out. That intimacy doesn't always have to be a physical thing. There are multiple versions of intimacy.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of going back to one of the last episodes.
One of the last episodes.
You had mentioned, this journey to perfection. It's like, you don't want to have baggage. You don't want this, whatever. Until you don't want all these things. You don't want all these things, but it's like, what do you want?
Ooh!
Come on, Joe!
Child, we out here!
Just like flows the rivers within.
Child!
What do you want?
What do you
Whoa!
Not this being a therapy session.
Child.
Oh my god.
Hey. Wow.
I don't know what I want. So I guess I need a date to know that.
Child.
There we go.
We're just saying.
Well, let me put it on y'all. What is your opinion on sex and like? Like, is it
Drop the
something?
location.
Do you feel like there's always an emotional connection to it? Can you do it without? Can it just be physical for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it depends on my mood. I don't look at sex as just like a blanket thing. Like I'm not just having sex with everybody.
Same.
Because I also don't believe that everybody needs to be attached to me in the context of like
Say it.
I don't need somebody just like some random riffraff or some random hoochie out there
The hooligan.
saying like, oh yeah, I got Tim or what. It's
Right.
like, no, we're not doing
No,
that.
baby.
Right. Because if they hool once, they're gonna hool again.
They gonna hool again now.
Hey.
But I do feel like there have been instances in my life where I was like, oh, like the vibe is right. Like,
Yeah.
I've talked about this on a podcast before. I've had a group sex situation.
Okay. How many participants?
It was fun.
Oh.
And we had fun. Yep. But it fits in one hand. So it's all in one hand. Because
It's in one
if
hand.
you have one other partner, that fits in the same hand. So I'm just saying, don't judge me now. Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay, show me.
But it was
Judge it.
it was fun. Like, but that isn't something that happens often. It was the one time, and everybody the vibe was right,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no emotional attachment. Like there was no
Right.
emotional attachment after. It was
Right.
like, oh, we were all cool. The vibe was right. It happened. The next day, we all went to work. It was like not a thing.
Right.
But there are also situations where you reach levels of vulnerability with people and then things happen. And I think once you reach certain levels of vulnerability with someone, then those emotional attachments
Right.
connect.
Gotcha.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, now I'm kind of caught up.
Yeah.
Because even though it was just kind of like it happened, it was like a fling, whatever, another notch on the belt, it's like my emotions got involved.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't together. And when I see them out doing other things, now I'm mad
I hate that feeling.
that you out there in the streets when I shared my body with you.
Ooh, I hate that
Like,
feeling.
so, all that to say, I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on the relationship. I definitely can just like be out there. As mentioned, if I look like you at 21, girl, the way I
Oh my gosh.
child,
Right.
mm,
Mm.
I would have had to. What's it called? Tubes bent, tied, double knotted. Bye.
Bye.
Ain't no way I'm getting no babies up in there. But yeah, I think I definitely am able to separate emotions from physical, emotional intimacy from physical intimacy.
Yeah.
But also there are times that I get caught up.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Kev?
Okay.
We on you.
Hold on. Got another.
Oh, wait.
Another
Right
fancy
now.
question now.
They say they don't want me to talk about it.
Come on now.
Let's see. I would just say, but it's. I mean, first of all, sex can mean a lot of different things in terms of like bases and what you consider sex. That's just like putting that out there. I would say I am like scared of sex just because like.
You, Kev, how do you feel?
Oh God, news! You talk.
I'm not about to.
You wait,
Right
You.
This ain't Duck Duck Goose.
I didn't know I'm next.
Now.
I didn't know I'm next. The math's been up a couple of times.
Right. If this was Alley Math, it's supposed to be
Right.
Chewbacca out there.
I would say I can relate to the actual, when you say like you're scared of sex or there's a fear of sex. Like, I can relate to the actual meaning of that, where sex for someone like me, and being queer and in the gay realm, like it requires body parts that like is scary to give that up sometimes. That like whether it be, and I think that holds hands with like in some form like inexperience or not having as much experience, because I wanted to give that part of myself to someone special and not rush into let me just get it out of the way
Right.
and experience this just to say I can experience it. That is such like a sacred thing to my body that I think that's why like the physical aspect of sex could scare me.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I think right now we live in a very sexualized world.
Mm-hmm.
So safe.
Very sexualized world where everyone, you just are expected to, how do I say it? Like, be experienced, be able to be sexualized at all times of the day.
Yeah.
Like even the other day, like I was at an event and this man looks at me and he's like, "Nice cleavage." Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Like, we live in a sexual.
To revisit, men suck.
Right. I'm like, what am I
suck.
supposed to do with that? But
Yeah.
it's like we live in such a sexualized world where it scares me to be inexperienced, but I know why I am. Is I want to give that sacred part of me to someone that I love and value. That doesn't mean I'm not experienced at all, for the record.
Right. And
I'm saying.
I think that goes back to the sentiment that I shared with Allie, where it's like, I think when you decide to date or put yourself out there and you are attracting the right guys, I think when it happens, you're going to want to.
Mhm.
You're not going to feel
Right.
pressure. It's
Right.
not going to be any type of societal pressure. It's not going to feel like, oh, I need to, or there's not going to be the fear of maybe like I'm inexperienced or anything like that. It's going to be like, because I feel like you guys are great at communication. I feel like you would have talked to the significant other about why you have chosen to keep yourself pure, for lack of better terms, or you've reached this level of experience, whether it's, less than others, or whichever way we want to take that. It's like, I think whoever y'all will end up with will be like, I see you,
Yeah.
and we're in this.
Yeah.
And you're gonna feel comfortable. You're gonna feel
Absolutely.
safe, giving your body, like sharing your body with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be like, I'm glad I waited for this.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so worth it.
I agree.
So worth it.
But you gotta put yourself out there and start dating. Not wait until you're
I
25.
know, I know.
Not wait until you reach a career, because like, what if you have these dreams of your career right now and like that's not what you're meant to be doing in life?
And it never happens.
And it never happens. Like I've shared with Kevin, when I first moved out to LA, I had to distinguish, and I think we've talked about this previously as well, where I had to distinguish between my passion and my purpose. And at the time, like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be Joe Yonsei
Right.
on the stage,
Okay.
like selling out stadiums. I was raised singing in the church. I was in Gifted and Talented as a child. I was singing in choirs. I was doing all kinds of stuff, like performing across the country at the different like expos and stuff like that. It's like, you couldn't tell me that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing in my life.
Wow.
Facts.
But through a series of emotional traumas attached to what I thought my purpose was, I had to relinquish. I had to kind of like set aside music, because again, there's still trauma attached to it, and it's just like, if I was holding on to that dream or what I thought, because that was going to be my career, if I was still holding on to that, I would have been unhappy all of these years. I never would have reached it, because as much effort as I was putting into it, God was saying something else. He's like, just because you have the gift, I ain't tell you that's what you're supposed to be doing. And
Amen.
so it's like if you wait till that perfection that you're not gonna reach. It's
We have a video on perfection.
we got to right. We have a video on perfection. You know, if
Right
you just
here.
like, subscribe. If you wait, you're gonna end up being lonely and keeping yourself from levels of happiness that you could have reached if you
Right.
just allowed yourself to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that in.
Observe, we got it on film.
Right.
You
You
can
can
watch
watch
it.
it.
Watch it
Rewind
back.
I love that. Well, yeah. Definitely being more open to things. It's like,
Yeah,
we're not being scared no more.
don't be afraid of that
Okay.
dick.
Oh,